Hey everyone, so I wanted to catch you up on my process of terminating my relationships with my patients. So again, I'm going to be moving down to the Orlando location that my job has, and I am currently in the process of letting all my patients know, and it is horrible. I don't think people tell you, like nobody really prepares you for the fact that you're going to be immersed in somebody's life. Like a lot of them, you will develop a relationship, you will have that bond, and when you leave, it's like they're not necessarily friends, they're not necessarily family, but I know a lot of them do see us like that, and so to feel their pain is like, it's not fun. And so the reactions that I've had so far is one for like, indifference. I think that is like a solid, I don't want to say half, I would say like a nice percent of my population definitely was indifferent. And I understand that because dealing with substance abuse, especially outpatient, a lot of them are being bounced around from counselor to counselor to counselor. Substance abuse, mental health in general has like a high turnover rate, especially substance abuse. So I understand, it makes sense. People are coming and going, they never really have something solid, no continuation of care. So it's like, I get it. And then the other 2/3, it was either just like absolute like anger, and not like being disrespectful, but like I had one patient, like I saw like the anger flash across his face. Like he got red, like he clenched his fist up, damn near punched the wall. I'm just like, sir, now we was already talking about trying to figure out some anger management stuff, so I guess we need to work on that again. Like, come on now. But anyway, so like I said, it's like the 1/3% or whatever is like indifference. The other half is like just angry. Like some of them cried, like made me cry. Like I was just like, dog, like this sucks. And I've been here for a year, so it's like I know I've been here for a while. I just didn't realize that people would have such a reaction, I guess. A lot of things I'm also getting is, oh, you're, the good ones always leave, and you're nice and we can tell you care and all that good stuff. And it's just really sad. It's just really sad because I take a lot of pride in my work. I feel like I'm a bomb ass social worker. Like my biggest thing is building rapport, and to know that I have built such good relationships, even if we didn't necessarily make any therapeutic gains or whatever, the fact that I'm able to be there for my patients to the point where the majority of my caseload is affected by it makes me feel good. But I also question whether or not they have become dependent on me. And as social workers, as mental health professionals, you never want your patients, your clients, or whatever to be dependent upon you. And so I do kind of have that in my mind, but I don't really think that's necessarily it, because I don't think it's necessarily it, but that is something that I've just kind of thought about. And so how I've been doing with my documentation, child, listen here, like when I tell you I'm so stressed with this fucking documentation, like I'm going through all of my case files and I'm making sure that all of their documents are uploaded correctly, like all of their notes and everything like that is complete. We have what we call phases. So people, I'm an outpatient substance abuse clinic, and we do methadone. And so with phases, it's basically how many take homes or medications that you're able to leave the facility. And so that was my other thing, just double checking and making sure everybody was on their correct phase, and just like making sure everything was tidy for the next counselor. And it's very stressful because even though I'm not even too behind on all my documentation, the fact that me being a perfectionist, I want it to be done as much as possible, because I know how it feels to inherit a caseload that's not caught up to date. And so at this point, I'm also training my person who's going to be taking my caseload. It's a bittersweet feeling because I'm just like, well, one, she not gonna be there for my patients like I was going to be there. Like she not gonna treat them like how I treat them. So it's also that feeling. But obviously she's a very trained, highly competent fucking social worker or mental health professional. I don't know her degree is in. But again, it's just like I become protective over them. So trying to break it down and explain to her all these people and their personality types and what they like and what they don't like, because that's something that's so important for me, is to be able to know those little details about them. And so me like trying to make sure that she gets that. And I guess most people don't do it. Most social workers are not social workers. I'm a social worker. But anyway, most counselors know, like, seeing what I'm seeing now, most counselors are not taking that extra mile to engage like that, especially when you're handing off case files and all that stuff. And so that's really my big thing, especially because I came from a nursing standpoint. When I worked in the hospital, like, we had to give reports, and it wasn't necessarily detailed, but it was detailed enough to where I become conditioned to passing my patients off with some information versus, oh, it's in her chart. Like, I know it's in the chart, but can we talk about it for a second? So, but to kind of recap everything, so these past couple of days I've been just talking to my patients, letting them know, dealing with all their different interactions or their reactions to me leaving. Definitely having to be mindful of my own feelings and stuff, and then going through getting all my paperwork in order, which is a process. I'm tired. Never worked more hard in my life than these past couple days, than this whole entire time I've been at this job. So doing that, and then I'm also training my replacement. So yeah, I'm just out here trying to get everything situated. My last day is on the 3rd, so it's like I'm trying to like have everything together, but it's hard. Emotionally it's hard, and like mentally it's hard, because damn, I have 1,001 papers that I have to fucking get together. So yeah, I hope you fucking learned something, got a little something from this, because closing your caseload out, nobody tells you, at least in my experience, nobody told me until I'm doing it now. So definitely, as soon as you find out, start letting them know. I think I said it before, show some fucking emotion. Like, a lot of times people, we're robots, professionalism, boundaries, and all that good stuff, and it's great, especially when you're dealing with certain people, but you have to know your population and know your patients. And so for me, I knew which patients I can show my emotions with. But yeah, tell as soon as possible, express your emotions appropriately, and then make sure those documentation is all good, because at the end of the day, once you leave, the only person who's truly going to be affected is that patient, because the next counselor can get up and leave just as easy as I am. So just make sure everything's taken together. But I will definitely talk to you guys later. We'll probably have a topics, I don't know, couple weeks, a week. We'll talk.